Here in the pits, the rules are different. Disease, famine, and unrest. But you cannot prevent us from rising. You will feel every jab, every cut. It is unavoidable. So sit and enjoy today, for tomorrow, we're here. We are the dirty, the diseased, the forgotten. We are the Outsiders. A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando. Hello there, Flesh and Blood folks, and welcome to the Dice Commando YouTube channel and Go Again, the fabulous videocast about all things Flesh and Blood. Today we have the privilege of spoiling a legendary equipment piece from the upcoming expansion set of Flesh and Blood, Outsiders. The Vambrace of Determination is a generic arm piece equipment of legendary rarity. Once per turn, as an attack reaction, for the cost of 1 resource, the next physical damage prevention effect that turn will prevent 1 less of that damage. Simply stated, for 1 resource, you can effectively offset the prevention of a single physical damage for the rest of the turn. As a repeatable on-demand ability, it can help to offset cards like Crown of Seeds, provided of course that you have resources to spare. With a base defense of 0, when the Vambrace of Determination defends, you may pay 1 resource to give it plus 1 defense and Blade Break. As a generic equipment piece, the Vambrace of Determination can be worn by any hero, and may prove useful as a sideboard equipment include against specific matchups. So there we have it, folks, our exclusive spoiler for Outsiders, the Vambrace of Determination. Now sure, we've had spoilers coming at us hard and fast over the last few days, but putting this into perspective, I think, requires a deeper look. On a first pass, I think it's reasonable to judge this card as being a little underwhelming against the high expectations that we put on legendaries. The defense is indeed a bit of a bummer, but while the card may not seem outright strong, I think it will prove useful. Because ultimately, I think the Vambrace of Determination is a well-designed card that fills a much-needed space for the future of the game. On one hand, pun absolutely intended, it appears to be a design counter to the notorious Crown of Seeds that can be utilized by physical attack-based decks. On the other hand, it's not universally useful. It only shines in certain situations and against specific archetypes. Because, remember, defending isn't a prevention effect. Physical damage is only generated when the power of the attack is greater than the total defense value. The Vambrace doesn't reduce defense itself. What it does is cancel out additional prevention effects, such as Ward, Quell, and so on. Think Crown of Seeds, Oasis Respite, and Spectral Shields, just to name a few examples. And finally, let's not forget that this is a generic arm piece. While sure, not every hero or class will want to use it, it will always be a viable option for the forever future of this game, for metas in which our heroes may need it. So I think it's important to recognize this card for what it is, a design safety valve of sorts, one that any hero can use. I also really applaud the design space of not just flat out canceling prevention effects. By keeping this strictly to physical damage, it ensures that arcane damage prevention effects specifically still maintain their effectiveness. Certainly, one can see how canceling out an arcane barrier, for example, could potentially be a massive impact, and by limiting this to physical, it protects that upside. The downside of this card is, obviously, its defense. From a pure defense standpoint, it's strictly worse than even Ironhide Gauntlets. That said, Ironhide doesn't have a repeatable in-game effect either, so there does need to be a trade-off somewhere. Ultimately, this card does exactly what we want a legendary equipment piece to do to serve a specific role. It's not overpowered, and in some cases, it's not useful, but it's there to do what we need it to do when we need it to. As such, I'm pretty stoked for this card. I think the Vambrace of Determination finds its way into many sideboards there for the right matchup. Regardless of where you stand, I think the Vambrace of Determination is a legendary that you're not going to be sad to open up in your case. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about today's card? Is it just a counter to existing mechanics, or does it act as a safety valve for the future? Or both? Let me know. Thanks everyone for tuning in to our spoiler premiere, and a huge thank you to LSS for the continued privilege of being able to be a part of your spoiler seasons. If you're interested in a deeper strategy discussion around the Vambrace of Determination, please check out the linked video where Swagdean and I dig a little deeper into this card. I'll see you folks on the tables, and go Commando.